Happy Sabbath, our viewers. This is Geshi's coming, the tallest man in back Africa. Welcome to our today's show. And if you are here for the first time, this is Geshi's Kaiman, the tallest man in back Africa. Kindly subscribe to our video and comment, share our viewers. We are very, very humble for our supporters. We remain very, very grateful. Without you, we cannot be where we are. Raila Amolo Odinga never disappoints. Raila Amolo Odinga is a political chess master I've always opined in this channel. He never gives up. He never disappoints. Always moving forward. And this is the doing of Kenyan politics. And he never surrender. And never shall he surrender. And if Raila Amolo Odinga is not giving up and he doesn't surrender, why should you surrender? Tell me, our viewers, why should you surrender when Raila Amolo Odinga, who has been rigged out in so many elections, is not about to surrender? According to him, giving up, surrendering doesn't appear in his dictionary. And this is very, very encouraging. Ni jambo ambalo linawatia moyo sana mafuasi wa Raila Amolo Odinga. Ni jambo ambalo linaweza kufanya watu waone kweli, ama kweli kuanguka wakati mwingine inabidi umwagushe mtu kabisa, kwa sababu yeye anaweza kulinganishwa na chachadu ambaye haachi mpaka utoboe mti. Swali ni je, atatoboa? Nafikiri jana, most of you who are political interests in this country, if you've been following the political happenings in this country, yesterday we had him hit the African leaders, and he also hit the African kingmakers, that is the West. He hit hard the Western nations, declaring them as people, capitalists, who have been imposing stooges, puppets in African continent. And he did not mince his words. He said African leaders are puppets of the West, and they have been installed by the West, especially by America and the United Kingdom. And he said that the forthcoming elections will be rigged just like the last general elections was rigged. Na akasema ya kwamba ni vizuri watu wajue kweli, ni vizuri watu wajue kwamba Raila Amolo Odinga did not lose the elections. He was rigged by the United Kingdom and America. And he said that one evidence that has been there is that they have been trying to find out, the West have been trying to impose leaders who are going to cater for their interests in Africa. Because what we have is that the West, the Western nations, America, Britain, Germany, Japan, these countries, they don't care. They don't care. What they care is their interest first. In fact, they see people as commodities. No wonder they were even practicing self-trade. According to these people, they believe that Africans are animals, and they believe they are human beings. They believe that Africans are not true animals. They see them as apes, people without hands, people who don't have the brains of their own, people who are still evolving. And that is the perception that the Mzungu has for you, our viewers. So Raila Amolo Odinga said that these people must stop this kind of nonsense. And he asked the African leaders, he asked the Africans to rise and stop this nonsense. And what we have seen is, for sure, Raila has gone for the jugular, calling Africans to resist this mischief. Because what we have seen is that he gave the example of the GMO, and he said that America is now reaping big after having their stooge, after having their puppet as a president in Kenya. That is what he was saying. He was alluding to that fact, and everybody knows that Kenyan elections were infiltrated. The judiciary has been infiltrated by the West, and we don't have the judiciary now. What we have is people who are catering for the interests of the Western nation. And this is what Baba is saying. And by the way, this is music to China. This is good music to China, especially at a time when the West is losing ground. Na kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba sasa kile ambacho kitatokea ni siasa za hali ya juu sana. Kutakuwa na siasa ambazo utaona the superpowers now. You know, China is almost becoming the main superpower. Just about to defeat America in just a few months, maybe less than a year. China is likely to be the superpower, and America must be very afraid. So you can imagine the way the Chinese are happy when here they see somebody like Raila Amolo Odinga telling the West to stop their nonsense and African to rise and resist this kind of mischief. And this is very, very interesting. That's why I'm saying Raila is a political chess master. He's a very intelligent guy. He sees farther than the giraffe. And this is your Raila for you. The death of the Queen has started a debate, especially about the mischief of the West and the way they have been trying to exploit Africa. And this has just begun. They have been impoverishing the African nations. And what is likely to have is that the West are likely to respond. They're likely to defend their puppets. And China, I can tell you, feel very much encouraged. And China can only encourage people like Raila to hit hard, because that is what there is. And Pan-Africanism is likely to be seen at its highest, especially when Raila is there. In fact, Raila is likely to be the face of the Pan-Africanism movement in Africa. Raila has stirred the world political waters. He has started a war that is going to see the superpowers going for each other's neck. Raila is a master in the new order. He has scattered them in all directions, and the stakes are very high. I can tell you, the stakes are very high. Because what has been happening, as Raila was saying, Africa has been exporting raw products and have been importing finished products. And this is very, very discouraging. And Raila does not want this. He wants Africa to have the value for its goods. Kwa sababu kile ambacho kipo ni kwamba hatuwezi ukawa na wakulima ambao wanalima kahawa kisha wanauza boni kule, and then we end up buying a Nescafe, a refined product, Nescafe, a refined product of our coffee. It is very discouraging, because most of these things that we buy from the West comes from Africa. So Raila does not want this. And Raila is an enigma of Africa politics. This is your Raila for you. So if you are here for the first time and you want to subscribe, kindly subscribe and let us move together and like our videos, please. At this point, I also want to remind you about something else that Raila is planning. In November, next month, Raila has lined up regional meetings. He's going to go to every corner of the country in what is called the town hall meetings and barazas, and again after that he's going to ensure that people must see the nonsense in Supreme Court and in judiciary in general. And he wants the Supreme Court to be abolished, if possible, because of the way they have been used politically. They have not been up to what they have been set up to. According to the framers of the Constitution, this was not the issue. This was not the main issue of when it comes to the presidential petition. The Supreme Court that was expected by the framers of the Constitution is people who are above board, who are incorruptible, people who can stand up and tell the nonsense of politicians. But this is not what we are having. So that is why he's having political meetings in all regions. And they are starting in November. He also wants the IBC to be reformed, because what you have, IBC has turned out to be a department of IBC, of Kenya Kwanza, not IBC. IBC, Wafula Chebukati, has turned out to be an agent of Kenya Kwanza. It is very, very scary. Lakini ambacho tunaona ni kwamba Raila anataka tuwe na referendum. We must have a referendum. You must have a referendum and abolish this Supreme Court. Because, in fact, if you ask me, the High Court is more competent than the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal judges look more competent than the superior judges. They don't seem to measure to their standards. When you have them declaring people who don't know what they are doing, when you see them actually people who don't have any respect for presidential candidates, and you see Raila Amolo Odinga has the support of more than half the country, and this is now the candidate that you are declaring is somebody who doesn't know what he's doing, as somebody who has been chasing hot air, somebody on a wild goose. This is something that we cannot accept. We cannot accept such kind of Supreme Court in Kenya. So, and with the prices of commodities skyrocketing, I think he has a golden chance. Because what is likely to happen? People are likely to listen to him because he's seen as a savior. People are likely to see what he's going to do. People are likely to see him as the alternative. And they're expecting him to provide the way. And he has already provided the way. And the way is the way to the referendum. And because I can see him pushing Kenya Kwanza to the wall. And Kenya Kwanza may surrender, I tell you. Kenya Kwanza may even surrender if Raila continue pushing like this. I will ask the Azimio supporters not to give up. Don't give up. Support Raila Amolo Odinga. He is there. Yes, he may be old, but he's energetic. He may be old, but he's blessed. He may be old, but he's wise. He may be old, but he's a leader. He's not just a politician. He has the interests of this country at heart. So let us support him in this just cause. Let us see how the world politics is going to play. Let us see how the Kenyan politics is going to play. It has just begun. Very, very interesting. Have a blessed day. I'm your host, Raila'S, the tallest man in Black Africa. Bye-bye.